Hi guys. I hope you made it onto our class today. I'm really excited to talk to you a little bit about nutrition for exercise and how we can think about what we should be eating while we're being active, while we're exercising. It's a really fun topic to talk about. So my name is Sam, and I'm one of the health coaches here at the Revere Health Weight Loss and Nutrition Center, and I'm really excited to talk about this topic. If during the whole presentation, if you have any comments or if you have any questions, feel free to make a comment in this video, and I'll try and get to those questions that you have. And if not, then I would be happy to talk to you later. I could message you back, or you could give a call to the Revere Health Weight Loss and Nutrition Center, and we'd be happy to help you out with what you need. So just to start off, we hear all the time that in order to lose weight, in order to be healthy, it's important that we eat well and that also we exercise. And so today we're just going to talk a little bit about how we can combine both of these for the biggest benefit. Last week, Jake went over exercise and why that's important, some different things we can do with that. And then a few weeks ago, Megan talked about having a balanced diet. And so I just kind of want to combine these two videos or these two classes that we got and talk about how they can combine together. All right, so just to review about some of the basics in calories and how we gain or lose weight. The way that we get fuel is by eating food, obviously, and these calories come in different types of food, different macronutrients. So there are carbohydrates, which are things like breads and fruits, pastas, things like that. There's protein, and this is what helps build our muscle. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And then there's also fat, and I think we've probably heard of these three macronutrients, but we take in these foods, and that's what brings us more calories. And then we also expend calories. And the way we do that is by exercising. So when you go to the gym or when you're just walking around playing sports, you're burning these calories. And then as well as your BMR, which is how many calories your body just needs to, just in a normal day-to-day basis, to just live life. So if you weren't doing any exercise, your body would still use calories because of this BMR. And so down here at the bottom, we can see that we want our calories in to be less than our calories out if our goal is to lose weight. And so that's kind of the goal, is to be monitoring calories and monitoring your exercise so that the ultimate goal can be weight loss or maintaining a healthy weight. But in order to be able to exercise, it's also important that we are giving our body enough energy so that we can exercise, so that we have the fuel that we need. So starting out before a workout. So the question is, what's good to eat before I start working out? And just kind of an overall point I want to make as I go through all of these things. There's not a one-size-fits-all for what to eat, how much to eat. It really is going to be on a person-to-person basis, but these are overall recommendations. And what I suggest is that you really experiment with yourself and see what works for you so that you can get the most out of your exercise and have good habits as you're eating. So what to eat before a workout? As you can see, this first point, carbs equals energy. So carbs, like I was saying, it's breads and pasta. There's also fruit, things like that, is what gives our body energy. Just like a car uses gas, our body burns carbohydrates for fuel. So when we eat them, they are broken down into glucose, which enter our muscle cells and then give us fuel. And so, as we can imagine, exercising, it requires a lot of energy, especially if we're doing high intensity things. So it's important to get that fuel before we exercise. But something to note on this is that we want to make sure we still don't go overboard. Sometimes we kind of use exercise as an excuse and we say, because I'm working out, then that means I can eat, as many carbs as I want. But we need to make sure that we still have moderation and that we're still limiting those carbs. Carbs also help us stabilize our blood sugar. So while we're working out, it helps so that our blood sugar doesn't drop too low so that we become dizzy or feel like we're going to faint or things like that. As well, along with those carbs, it's also a good idea to add a little bit of protein just because protein is what we need to build muscles. But before a workout, it's really important to eat carbs. So some ideas of a pre-workout meal. You could have a banana with peanut butter, oatmeal with berries. There's carbs in both the oatmeal and the berries. Salmon and brown rice. So the rice, salmon has a little bit of protein. A peanut butter and jelly sandwich, anything like that that has some carbs in it. Another question is the timing. So how long before a workout is it good to eat these things? And it's recommended 1 to 3 hours before you start working out is when you have this meal to really give yourself that energy. Make sure that you have enough glucose in your muscles so that when you start exercising, you're good to go. But if you don't have enough time to do it 1 or 3 hours before your workout, you can get a small snack, 30 minutes before you work out. And then another question is, if I'm working out a lot, should I be increasing my calories? That's a good question because, again, it's different for everyone. But normally when we are estimating our calories, we usually overestimate what we're burning and we underestimate our calorie consumption. And so we do burn calories by exercising, but it's usually not enough where we really need to drastically change our diet. If you're exercising at a really high intensity for multiple times a week for a long time, then you may need to increase your calories. But for the majority of us that are just working out to stay healthy, as long as you're getting good nutrients and enough calories, like what your calorie goal is, then you're usually pretty good with that. Another question that has come up is, are supplements good? Do we need to take them? A very common supplement is creatine. And this supplement, it increases muscle mass and strength. It increases muscle fiber size, and it delays fatigue. So pretty much it just helps build your muscle. And it's, it's been studied a lot, and it's safe, and it's, a lot of people do use it to just help build more muscle as they're working out. You can take it before or after you work out. But a good general rule is, are you going to be taking any of these supplements or vitamins to replace food that you usually eat? If that's the case, then it's probably not a good idea to take it. Because as we know, fruits and vegetables have a lot of natural vitamins and minerals. Foods, meat and things like that have a lot of protein. And so we should be getting most of those things from the normal foods that we eat. So it's just good to think, are you replacing a lot of food with supplements? And if so, then it's probably not the best, and it'd be good to rethink the food that you are eating. So the next question, or the next kind of topic, is what to eat after a workout. So you've worked out, you've expended a lot of energy, you feel really good, you feel really tired. So what's good to eat now? Something with exercise, as we know, is it helps us burn calories, but it also helps us to maintain muscle mass. And this is important for weight control and metabolism as well. As we gain muscle, our metabolism is able to run more smoothly. If you have sufficient muscle mass, you can perform more activities day to day, like carrying groceries, playing with your kids or grandkids, just walking into work or things like that. And so it's important that as we build muscle mass, we're able to do more activities, which will build more muscle mass. But as you age, you lose muscle mass, and people who are physically inactive can lose as much as 3 to 5% of their muscle mass per decade. So muscle can be lost really easily if we're not careful to be strengthening that muscle. So that's why it's really important to be physically active and also incorporate strength training activities when we exercise. to help keep building that muscle. But it doesn't stop there, like we're talking about. What we eat also plays a big role in maintaining that muscle. So muscles in your body, just kind of a quick overview, are made of protein. And when you're exercising, you're actually breaking down the muscles. You're making little tears in the muscles in order to build them back up, which when you build them back up, they'll be stronger, they'll be more powerful. That's what we're doing as we're working out. But in order to build those muscles back up, we need enough protein to be able to do that. So that's why it's really important that we get enough protein in our diet so that we're able to build enough muscle back. We hear about protein a lot. You know, it's in meat, there's protein in nuts, we hear about protein shakes and bars, and it's just that. It's because it's very important so that we keep becoming stronger. As we age, it takes higher doses of protein to stimulate that muscle protein synthesis, and most people actually start eating less protein as they get older. So it's a good thing to remember. How much is the next question? And it's recommended about 0.5 to 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. So for an example, if you weighed 180 pounds, you'd need around like 70 grams of protein each day. And it depends also how active you are, but that's just a good general rule. So just to kind of give you an idea of things that have protein in them, an egg has about 6 grams of protein. One roasted chicken breast has about 53 grams of protein. So we can see there that's almost, you know, all the protein that we need in a day. 1 cup of cottage cheese has 27 grams of protein. A cup of tuna has 39 grams of protein, and there are protein supplements, so drinks and bars, that have anywhere from 20 to 50 grams of protein. Some other ideas of protein are almonds, oats or oatmeal, Greek yogurt, quinoa has protein, fish, some fruits and vegetables have small amounts of protein. And so those are all ideas of things with protein in them. Timing, it's important that we try and get that protein in within an hour after we finish exercising. So you could take, you know, a protein shake to the gym and drink it right after, or if you're working out at your house, just make your meal right after and make sure you get that protein in, because it helps that window of muscle recovery, helps your muscles be able to recover and be able to build themselves more easily. Another suggestion is, well, another important thing, I guess, with nutrition and as you're working out, you know, immediately after you want that good meal of protein. But also it's important that your everyday diet is healthy and it consists of fruits and vegetables and good balanced meals so that you have the energy and what you need in order to be able to exercise. So fruits and vegetables have a lot of vitamins and minerals, which is really important. And it's also a good idea to try and eat a lean protein at every meal. And that way you're spacing your protein out throughout the day. You're not just, you know, you're eating all of it at one time, but you're getting that throughout the day so that your muscles have that that ability to regenerate themselves and to repair those little tears that you're making. All right, so the next question is hydration. Obviously, this is also a very important part of exercise and of keeping our bodies healthy. The question when, so it's really important, not just during a workout, but before and after, that you're hydrating your body and that you get enough fluids so that you're not you're not getting dehydrated, so that you have enough energy as well to keep exercising the whole time. Your body uses a lot of water during exercise for different things, and if you're not drinking, then there are a few things that you'll probably feel. You might feel dizzy, you might get muscle cramps. Water also helps with temperature regulation, so it will help you stay the right temperature, not get too hot. And water also will replace the water that you lose in sweat as you're working out. And so it's really important to get enough water. If in doubt, probably have more than you think, because usually we also overestimate what we're drinking. The question of how much. So it's important to start drinking water, earlier in the day before your workout. So they suggest 2 cups of water, 2 to 3 cups of water a few hours before you start working out. And then about 30 minutes before, get another cup of water in. And then while you're working out, get 1 cup of water for every 15 to 30 minutes of your workout, depending on how intense your workout is. So drink during your workout and then after as well. Just keep drinking water, and just remembering that our bodies need that water to replace that we lost. And again, there's no one size fits all for water. Everyone's body is a little different, but the main important part is that we are drinking water and that we're replacing that as we sweat. Another question is sports drinks. Are sports drinks important as we're exercising? And usually if you're exercising less than an hour, water is just great, and you'll replace what you need with the water and then also with the food that you eat. But if you're exercising for more than an hour and you're doing some pretty intense exercise, then choosing a sports drink would be a good idea to replace the electrolytes that you lose. Those are minerals that you lose when you sweat. Just one thing is to be careful to not choose really sugary sports drinks, things that are gonna maybe replace the electrolytes but give you a lot more sugar and things like that. So just choosing those drinks wisely so that you can get the benefits that you need. All right, the next question are foods to avoid. So as you're planning to exercise and as you're establishing that pattern in your life, what are foods that you should try and stay away from? The first foods are fatty or greasy foods. And the reason for this is because fat takes longer to be digested in your body. And so if you eat those right before you're working out, then you may have some digestion problems. You might not feel so good in your stomach, which is never fun while you're working out. And so especially right before you work out, it's not a good idea to have fatty or greasy foods. And then overall, usually those foods have more calories. That just usually comes along with things that are fatty and greasy. So just making sure that we're watching our calories and watching the types of foods that we're eating. Another thing that would be good to avoid is lots of sugar and simple carbohydrates, which are sugars and like white breads, white rice, things like that. Our body does need carbs to fuel our energy or fuel our exercise. But if we're eating a lot of things with sugar, then we're going to feel a crash. So we won't have the energy that we need to exercise. And it doesn't take long until you feel really tired. You kind of get that crash after you eat sugar. Another thing to avoid is eating too soon before a workout. And a reason for this is because when you digest things, your body sends blood to the digestive system. But when you work out, your body sends blood to the muscles. And so if you eat right before you work out, then the body's kind of competing with itself, trying to know, should I send blood to the digestive system or to the muscles? And usually you won't feel very good because your digestive system isn't going to be working very well as you're exercising. So just remembering to try and eat an hour to 3 hours before you work out. Another thing to avoid is too much fiber or protein before a workout. And this is, the same reason. Our digestive system has to work hard to digest these things. And if we're working out at the same time, then it isn't able to work as hard. So just being careful to not eat something too huge before you work out, and just overall focusing on a healthy, balanced diet so that you have the energy and the fuel that you need to be able to exercise. Okay, this next slide, the question is, what if I'm not losing weight? And I think this is a question maybe a lot of us have. We feel like we're working hard, we still don't see the success necessarily that we're wanting. And so the question comes up, what else could I do? What am I not doing well enough? What do I need to change? And I just want to remind you that yes, losing weight is usually a benefit that comes from being healthy, but it's not our main goal necessarily. It's just a number on the scale. And when we lose weight, we could be losing fat, we could be losing muscle, and we want to make sure it's healthy weight loss. So our focus is to be healthy, and usually weight loss will come with that. But just a few ideas of, if you're not seeing the success that you want, one thing could be that you're not keeping track of what you're eating. So maybe you're overeating and not realizing it. If you are tracking your calories, maybe there's some foods that you aren't tracking the full amount, and that's where, the extra intake of calories is coming from. Maybe you're not eating enough protein. Protein will help boost your metabolism. And if you're trying to lose weight, protein is a really important thing to incorporate in your diet. Another thing is maybe you're not eating enough whole foods. So instead of eating fruits and vegetables and whole grains, you could be eating more processed foods, things that come in a package, which again aren't bad, but we want to make sure that we're getting the whole foods in our diet. You could maybe not be doing the right types of exercise, or maybe you're focusing too much on one type of exercise or another. It's important that we get cardio in, so things that increase our heart rate, because that targets burning fat. When we're doing cardio, when we're high intensity cardio, it's going to burn the fat that we have. So especially it burns visceral fat, which is the fat around your organs, the fat in your stomach area. So that's really important, and it's also important to get strength training or to get weights in, because that will help strengthen our muscles. And as our muscles are stronger, then we're able to do more exercises. And so just that balance of cardio and strength training is really important for weight loss. Another thing, you could be drinking too much sugar. I think that's something that's really common, is we like soda or energy drinks, and I think we'd be surprised at how much sugar comes from those things. So that's another thing to look at. There's even sports drinks or energy drinks come with a lot of sugar. And so checking your drinks and seeing if there's some place you could cut out and instead drink more water, that could be another factor of gaining weight. Another point or another reason maybe for not seeing the success that you want is if you're not sleeping well or if you're not sleeping enough. Studies show that poor sleep is one of the biggest risk factors for obesity. And so our body in the middle of the night is regenerating itself, is repairing itself. And if we're not sleeping well, then it doesn't give that time to do its job. And then another reason is unrealistic expectations. So, a lot of times we see kind of what we want, or we have an idea of the weight that we want, and we want it now and we want it quickly. But a healthy weight loss is usually about 1 to 2 pounds per week. And so maybe you're losing weight, you're just not losing it as fast as you would like. And so just remember that everyone's body is different, and weight, a healthy weight loss comes off slowly, but hopefully that's going to be more sustainable. And so just remember to be patient with yourself. The most important thing is that we are getting exercise in 5 times a week, or 5 days a week if possible, and that we're getting well-balanced meals, that we're not going too high on our calories. And as long as we're balancing the nutrition and the exercise, then our body's going to thank us for that. And overall, I have seen also personally how eating well and exercising, it's kind of the spiral effect. When you eat well, you have more energy to exercise, and when you exercise, often you crave more healthy foods, or you don't crave as much sugar, and then it's just kind of a spiral effect. And that's kind of how we're going to see success. That's how we're going to gain motivation. And so I just encourage you all to put these things in practice. And if you have any questions, to let us know, and we'd be happy to talk to you more about your specific situations. So I'm going to look and just see if there are any comments or questions that we have. It looks like we don't have any questions right now. And so I think we'll just leave it at that. But again, if you do have any questions or if you want to learn more about this, feel free to call our office or to come talk to one of the health coaches, and we'd be happy to talk about specific things that you can do in your life to balance exercise and nutrition. Thanks for joining us, guys. Have a great day.